Okay, so hi. Today we're going to be watching Interview with a Vampire Season 1, Episode 1. I haven't seen any of Season 2 and I'm kind of trying to get back into it and rewatch it. I've forgotten a lot of like the finer details other than like this is a true to form, explicitly gay version of the story, which I appreciate as an avid lover of the book series. Let's do this. It's been a while and I'm ready.
It's not a complicated job other than how it'll mess with your life.
I do think it's so
News
great
used to
the
be
way
a
that
bunch
they
of guys.
chose to start this. It would be easy for them to have started the series like exactly where it started with the books, but like I always do appreciate it when showrunners, you know, it's way too hot to have a candle burning. I forgot for a second that it's summertime. Oh my god. I think it's great that some showrunners take effort to make things interesting, not only for people who are experiencing the story the first time, but for people who have also experienced like the original media as well.
What's the deal with this subvariant business? I mean, is that
The
more
trend
contagious?
of like
Is it...
shows and movies that came out around COVID time, like referencing COVID directly, was so bad. I get that, like, you know, we want to acknowledge it, but like in fiction, I don't think we need to. I think there's no worse way to like date your piece than to directly mention this thing that was happening during this time. It would be one thing if the backdrop of the pandemic like played into this story at all. I think they just wanted to like give it a specific date and time and be like, see, we're referencing current events. Like, girl, the story is relevant one way or another. You don't need to reference COVID for that to be the case. The new premise of this, of like going back and revisiting the interview, I think is so swell. Not only preserve the contemporary time in which the original story was written, but also like tie in like current, well, other than COVID, like a current feeling narrative.
You've grown old, Daniel.
Can I just start off by saying Jacob Anderson's performance in this show is so good. I feel like this role really let him like be the powerhouse that he is, that he like we get to see like little glimmers of in Game of Thrones.
Across from Mr.
Louis Dupoint-Dulac.
Obviously, like having seen this before, I know how he was when he was human. Seeing like him now and the way that he acts is like so, like he's so cocky. Like he would never have acted this way like back in the day. I mean, he was cocky, but like in a different kind of way. Like his cockiness was more of like a shield around him. Here and now, his cockiness is just like born of complete and total arrogance. And I love that for him. Can I just say, Anne Rice and Nora Roberts are both people that blow my mind. The fact that they have taken these towns and made them all their own. If you don't know, Nora Roberts like basically owns like a small town up north. It's like so cool to me that these people were able to turn their hard work over all of these decades into a true living and breathing legacy that is like brick and mortar across an entire city. Like I've always wanted to go to New Orleans just so I can see the spots of Anne Rice. She was just so ahead of her time. It's really a shame that she passed before this show aired. It's Daddy. He looks so fabulous from behind. Like the frills are really doing it for me. I love the way they filmed him in this first little bit. Obviously you don't know that it's him at first. You just think it's a random person until you see him and you're like, that's him. That's the guy who's gonna change his life. And of course he brings this up again later of like, I saw this whole interaction. They're basically showing it from Lestat's point of view, how and why he became obsessed with Louis in an instant. Oh my god, is that the lady from Detroit Become Human? What was her name? Rose? It's been a really long time since I've played that game. It's always so fascinating to me to see people like show up for the first time, not really the first time obviously, but like then to see them like grow in popularity as they get more and more roles. Like that happened with Murray Bartlett. He was in White Lotus and then he was in Physical and then he was in The Last of Us and now he's like everywhere. And I just find that like so heartwarming to see people be successful in their careers. Imagine that. I just recently rewatched that show Good Girls, which was canceled too soon. That show was so good. There's like an FBI agent character who has a husband, and that's the dude who plays the husband in that show. It's crazy to see people like pop up in different, obviously that's the nature of the industry, but like it's very fun to like pick out like, oh my god, I've seen you there and there and there. The fact that he saw that and thought it was hot is like just so crazy to me. The crossfade too.
Any brooms down the street at the Mayfair Sisters home.
He's calling me a witch, Mama.
I would say that I appreciate that they like connected all of Anne Rice's works as they are connected in their original form. But like, I tried to watch The Mayfair Witches. I love Alexandra Daddario's work. I love everything I've ever seen her in. But that show, I don't know what to call it, but it was not good. That's the only thing I know I can't call it. So the people who wrote this, they're locked in. The initial scene that we see him in, he's like, I'm not gonna look at a man's penis just for him to be like gayest of the gay.
How'd you manage to get yourself through the front door?
The secondhand cringe of this scene is like hitting me again. The first time I watched this, I had to skip this scene because it was so embarrassing. Like, also Miss Lily with her French accent that disappears the next time we see her. I have to. For the video, I don't want to skip it. But like, I'm telling you right now, like this type of thing makes me feel like so... Like, I'm sorry, I simply can't. I feel like that's my favorite part about Anne Rice's vampires. With vampires that we see today, like they're very often like gray characters, anti-heroes, that type of thing. Anne Rice's vampires are not anti-heroes. They're just straight up bad. Like, they are monsters. They do not value human life. They are pieces of crap, all of them. Even Louis, who like refrains from killing humans. He's not trying to turn them into like teen heartthrobs. Like, they are bad people.
We both wanted the last bouquet of lilies.
Every time he flirts with Louis, I combust inside. Emphasis on the bust. Like
10% for all the work?
There's capital investment and there's labor.
I don't want to get like too far into like the nitty gritty of every single thing that's amazing about this show, but I feel like the people who made this like really paid attention to like certain experiences of marginalized people. You change yourself to like fit in with a group of people who would normally oppress people like you so that you can be considered part of like an upper strata. They still will only see you for the color of your skin, no matter how you like contort yourself to fit into their bullshit. The way that they portrayed this, the way that they speak to him still, they really pulled that off in my opinion. It's so sweet how he is with him at the very beginning. Like, even though you know like he's a predator, he's literally hunting this man to kill him, just the way he's so sweet to him at the start, like
I don't know who gave you the right to call our mother your mother. She's not your mother yet.
he's so like, I get that he's got like issues, but Jesus, like he can't just be civil for one evening. It's crazy that he's dressed like a Slytherin right now. I feel so dumb saying that. I'm sorry. The second that came out of my mouth, I was like, Cressy, shut up. But like, he's dressed like a Slytherin. And I was gonna wear my Slytherin shirt. It's on my chair. You can't see it, but it's on my chair. That's crazy, right? It's so worth mentioning, right? Oh my god, it's the threesome scene. Oh, I don't know if I can do this. Don't look at me like that, Sam Reed, please. I don't think I can show boobs, but know that she does have really gorgeous boobs. Like, I'm jealous. I don't know why she's doing all that. He is literally nowhere near her vagina. Louis goes on about how he had no idea that Lestat could fly. Maybe like he just forgot because he's like currently getting the blood sucked out of him.
When you were using drugs, do you remember the best you ever had? Multiply it to the rings of Saturn and back.
I don't know why people talk about drugs like that. People really try to talk about drugs like, oh my god, it was a euphoric experience. Like, man, being high in any way, like whether it's from a drug or because you drank too much, it does not feel good. It just feels like you're really, really tired and you can't stand up, you can't speak, you can't think. It doesn't feel good. This isn't even me trying to be like a PSA. The more I hear people discuss these things, now that I'm of age to do certain things, I'm like, man, what are you guys talking about? Like this is not fun. So sad. Later on in in the show they like address like did Lestat, did he do this to Louis' brother? And you just never really know. It would be so unforgivable if Lestat had told his brother to kill himself. From what they have shown us of Paul, like yes, he had his issues, but I feel like he would have been the last person to kill himself. Like as religious as he was, I just really genuinely feel like there's no way he would have done this on his own free volition, you know?
That was the last sunrise I ever saw.
Jesus, the fact that he did it on the heel, like to me, the way that the events lined up, like there's just no way that Lestat didn't do this.
You always had to have the last word, didn't you, Louis?
Why is she so mad? Like, okay, no, I get why she would be devastated. Obviously, it's a devastating thing that happened. But for her to immediately be like, it's your fault, Louis, after all the crazy stuff that Paul did and said to everybody all the time, like, I don't think... I don't know. Even knowing what I know about the whole situation with Lestat, I'm still kind of like, yeah, like Paul, like really sad what happened, but why are you blaming Louis? He didn't do anything to him.
Easy prey for the discerning predator.
The gall to show up at the funeral procession.
Believe me when I tell you, your brother longed for that flagstone.
Stuff like that. It's like, how could you not? Like, he definitely was involved in some way. I just want to know what he said when he was in Paul's head that night at the dinner. What did he say to him to make him do this on the day of his sister's wedding? Or I guess the morning after. Like, not even giving her a full day to, like, be happy and enjoy herself.
Come to me.
So horrific of him to do this at the funeral. Also, can we say, like, just how fast they did this? He killed himself at the crack of dawn, and then literally that night, they already have the funeral. Like, I guess some cultures and families like to do it really fast, but, like, that's breakneck speed. I'm sorry, the crossfates are so sinister. Like, this is like a nightmare image. How could they make two of the most attractive men in the world look so fucking scary?
I take daughters with no homes and I put them out on the street.
He killed this scene. I'm sorry. He killed the scene. Okay? Like, he murdered it. Okay? He really said, no, I got it.
But I look in the mirror, I know what I am. The big man in the big house, stuffing cotton in my ears so I can't hear the cries.
So good. Whoever wrote that line, so good.
I failed my brother.
No, son.
What was that lackluster? No, you didn't. Man, he's having a breakdown. Put a little back into that, babe. The sass in him, like, checking to make sure that he was watching. You know what I just remembered? In the scene that I mostly skipped, where they were both, like, fighting over Miss Lily at the whorehouse, I guess you call it. There's a part where Louis literally says, like, I wanted to pull out my cane and cut his throat with it. And now he's stabbing him with the cane sword. But I remember, like, at the very end, like, he does do that. He does pull out the cane sword. He cuts his throat with that. That's foreshadowing. Wow. I love how they use the context to show, like, where they're at in their, like, feral state. The pupils, like, they get blown. He looked that same way when he was, like, in Paul's head at the dinner table.
Swap it out for a dark gift and a power you can't begin to imagine.
So hypnotic. I swear. Their casting of Sam Reed, I don't think anybody else could have played Lestat the way that he is playing Lestat. Even, like, Tom Cruise in the movie, like, he did a great job. Love his version of Lestat, but this version of Lestat, I don't think anybody else could have played it like this. Even just that shot of him looking into the cat, like, I felt it. I felt it.
You just have to nod your beautiful head and say yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. I'm sorry. I almost said so romantic, but, like, this is horrific. Lestat just knows what he's doing. Like, he's such a master manipulator. How is he even upright when he's looking that gray? I'm sorry, I haven't said anything until now, but, like, the nails, like, they are book accurate, but, like, they really make this whole thing look so insane. Explain to me how Lestat was taken out by that, but this man was not taken out by him having his life force sucked out.
In throes of increasing wonder.
Ugh. Beautiful. Oh, not the blood tears. Man. Wow. Okay. Thanks, AMC. Like, what? Oh my Lord in heaven. That was so good. That was so good. Like, I feel like I really am like giving in to like the thing that you're not supposed to do, which is like romanticizing this insane relationship. But like, how can I not? Like, I just love vampire stories. I do. I love vampire stories. I love Anne Rice's work. I love this show. I really want to watch season 2 so bad. I can't wait to get into that, and I surely will after I've rewatched this. I'm so glad that season 3 was already greenlit, so I don't even have to be worried about like, oh, am I too late or whatever. Like, it's all good. I'm just glad this was my first video back in a while. Thank you for stopping by, tuning in, watching this with me. I will see you on another video soon. Peace sign. Bye.